In a small, fog-drenched town, Jane Blackwell, a former child psychologist, moves into an old, secluded house to get away from the past that haunts her. She's plagued by memories of a patient, a disturbed child named Sam, who disappeared mysteriously a decade ago. The town harbors unsettling secrets, with locals who seem friendly enough but leave her feeling on edge, as if they know more than they let on. Jane, emotionally bruised from years in the field, decides to escape to this town for solace. Her new home is ancient, creaky, and full of shadowy corners. She receives a cold reception from her neighbors, who avoid eye contact and seem to mutter about her as she walks by. One local, Martha, an elderly woman with sharp eyes, warns her of a legend about the house, claiming it's cursed by a young boy who went missing there years ago. Dismissing this as a ghost story, Jane settles in for her first night. As Jane spends more time in the house, strange occurrences begin. She hears laughter in the halls at night and sees shadowy figures reflected in the windows. She tries to brush it off but starts finding small, childlike handprints in dust patches around the house. She grows increasingly paranoid, believing she's being watched. Frantically searching for explanations, she realizes that these signs are eerily similar to those left by her former patient, Sam, before he disappeared. Jane begins to lose track of time. She wakes up to find herself in rooms she doesn't remember entering and sees messages written in places she swears were clean moments before. "Help me," scrawled in small handwriting on a bathroom mirror, sends a chill through her. She contacts her only acquaintance, Martha, who reveals that Sam's family used to live in that house. Martha hints that perhaps Sam's disappearance was more complicated than anyone had thought. Jane's nightmares grow intense, each one more vivid than the last, as if she's experiencing Sam's final moments. Haunted by her past, Jane decides to investigate Sam's disappearance. She unearths old patient files hidden in her belongings, files she doesn't remember bringing with her. One photo in particular seems wrong, the young Sam smiling in her office, but with a shadow behind him resembling her. She's thrown into a spiral, doubting her memories, her past actions, and whether she was complicit in something darker than she could recall. After a final night filled with horrid visions and voices whispering her name, Jane finds herself led to the attic. There, in a dusty corner, she discovers an old torn child's jacket, one she distinctly remembers Sam wearing the day he disappeared. She's seized by visions, memories flooding back. Moments of anger, frustration, and crossing boundaries with Sam, who'd always been difficult and defiant. A horrifying suspicion arises within her. Did she somehow cause his disappearance? As Jane tries to escape the house, she's faced with the spirits of her past, both Sam and others she might have wronged, twisting her memories and forcing her to face the ugliness buried within her. She realizes that she's spent years hiding from herself, projecting blame onto others to escape her own failings. Her final confrontation with Sam's ghostly figure breaks her, and she collapses, sobbing and begging forgiveness. Days later, the house is silent, and the townsfolk claim that they saw no one move into the house in years. The locals murmur about the mad psychologist who once lived there and disappeared without a trace, just like the boy who vanished all those years ago. And in the attic, the faintest sound of laughter can still be heard at night,